Well, here we go. Conventional till problems. Every conventional tilled field around here, well, not every field, but a majority of conventional tilled fields around here look like this. You have yellow spots, you have water ponding. That water's been there for several weeks. There is zero excuse for that water ponding there. Our old train of thought, well, there must be a lot of compaction to hold that water there, so that means we're going to have to disc rip this fall. And since this area is always notoriously wet on a wet year, we better tile it because we got to get rid of that excess water and all that evil water. Two questions. One is, did we not just see a video of my other fields that were taking 6 to 20 inches an hour of rain when soil health principles were applied? So then would that mean that if this ground could take in 3 inches an hour instead of a ½ inch in several days, would this field not have all this yellow to it? Then would we not need to be worried about tiling and massive disc ripping and all that stuff? So that's kind of the fun part about this. You know, you got yellow over here, and so you always hear the conventional train of thought, well, yeah, you know, let's run a big tile right through all this stuff here, and we'll just cut right under the road and blah 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 blah. And yeah, you know, it's not 1990 anymore. I don't know. I have a hard time about staying super calm about this because I want to just be like, you people, wake up, you know, water's a pretty important resource, you ding-a-lings, wake up. And so I want to stay calm, but then I think at the other hand, why should I stay calm when you have the lesbian and gay organization wants to legalize pedophilia? And then, you know what, if they can be that stupid, maybe I can just be stupid and offensive too, and be like, look at all you stupid, ignorant people that just want to tile everything and keep pulling out your disc rippers to fix compaction. Let's look at the compaction. You can already see I've been walking around here. This is attempt 12 of my video because I never like how they first come out. So I say this water's been here for a couple weeks. You can see, I don't know if the camera will allow or if there's getting glare on the thing, but there is a lot of insect life crawling around under that water. So it's been here for several weeks. Obviously there's no compaction. I just stuck that in at 8 inches and I could have gone further. But what I want to get at is, look at that chunk here from 6 to 8 inches deep is dry. Water been there for several weeks, and we have dry dirt at 6 to 8 inches deep. Hello. How about the fact that tillage, we just have degraded soil issue in America. That's our crisis in America, farming. There's no airspace in this soil, and there's no pore space in the soil, and there's no humus in the soil. With no airspace or pore space, where's the water supposed to go? It's like Portland speck mix out here. It just, of course, and then when it turns dry, it gets super tight and leads us to believe we have compaction, but it's not really a compaction issue. It's a soil health issue. It's a you know, humus issue. It's air space issue. It's life issue. Many other issues that we just keep fooling ourselves with conventional tillage. I guarantee every conventional guy in the area would look at a spot like this and be like, yep, we got to rip that more. And you know, how much more proof do we not need? How much more, that's it, I guess, how much more proof do people need to open up their minds and start to think a little bit? In a couple hundred years, are we going to look back at all this tiled land and think how we've changed water? Because before we started tilling, when it was open prairie for millions of years before we came along, that water kept going through the profile. Where it went from there, we don't know. Did it go into aquifers? Maybe some of it did. Did it eventually hit? I can't see how water, once it got several feet in the ground, how then it started moving horizontally. At some point, there was always runoff into rivers, but now you look at Minnesota, all of God's country in Minnesota, and all them big farmers in northern Iowa and the I-states pretty much. You have to grid pattern tile everything. All that excess water that should be going in the profile is now racing across the top of the field because they have poor soil structure, they have unhealthy ground. It races across the top of the field to collection points, and then it's shipped off the field through the tile instead of working in with their farm. They're just getting rid of that water, and it's going directly into rivers and creeks and stuff. What's going to happen in a couple years? Are aquifers going to start drying up? I have no idea. I don't have that kind of data or information. To a simpleton like me, it's like, sure, you have millions of acres that no longer are allowed to let water go through the profile. The water is raced off to creeks and ditches. To me, yes, that's going to change something at some point. Will it ever be a negative change? Don't know. We'll never live long enough to find out. Maybe in a few, 500 years, some kid can bring this video back up and be like, son of a gun, that guy was onto something, or yep, he sure got proved wrong, because after 500 years, it still is working awesome. But yeah, this just baffles me. So a couple other neighbors already asked about it, like, oh boy, what are you going to do with all them yellow spots out in his field and stuff like that? And I says, you mark my word, in 3 years, give me 3 years and you will not see this anymore. It will be drastically reduced. There is a spot right over here that after a heavy rain, because our rain patterns have gone from an inch a week to, oh, here's 2 inches overnight, and now you go several weeks without rain, or here's 2 inches and here's 3 inches, and you get a foot of rain in a week kind of deal. So our rain patterns have really changed. So obviously a dip in the field, like right over here, yep, that always might still be a yellow spot, but all this yellow will be gone in 3 years. All that yellow spot will be gone in 3 years. You will not see them spots, because we will bring soil health into here. We will open the soil up, let it breathe, let it live, and promote life and not death out here. And so yeah, so they kind of laughed. They're like, well, yeah, hope you get it, because it'd be neat to see. And a few of them are like, well, we're gonna count, in 3 years, or 3 years, 4 years, whatever the next wet year is. We're gonna keep an eye on you, just having some fun. But yeah, yep. So without spending money, I can fix this versus $2 a foot into tile and setting things. I will tile this farm just for the fact of the county ditches that run through the farm. You can't stop other people's county ditch. You can't plug it up, at the property line. So yes, I will bring a tile from their property line through the farm and through this county ditch through the farm, just to get rid of them people's water. But as far as the water on my own fields, no, there's tile in our part of the country, as far as to fix something like this, is asinine. Tile to fix, you have a big draw in the field, and if you want to keep farming through that draw, I could see tiling that spot. Personally, I would turn it into a grass waterway and just turn around, but to each their own. I'm not here to regulate anybody, unlike Minnesota and the Democrat people of this goofy state who want to regulate how much I talk to you. But yeah, all right, that's enough of that lecture. I'm gonna get spraying and see if we can't bring this back to life with some heat this week. Thank you, guys.